You know, they say that personal hygiene is important. I, for one, am not really a fan of bars, but it's important for you to keep your hands clean, and I do hope you've been washing your hands in this time. Where were we? Right, we were 3 days at sea, with no wind, no water, no nothing, and we were gonna die. But then all of a sudden there was a storm. Managed to weather it, which was nice, because we didn't die. And now we found an island just off in the distance. So what lies on the island? Well, come closer and we'll continue the tale. And without further ado, this is chapter 5 of The Coming Storm. Swept along by a strong current, and helped by the wobbly mast and makeshift sails, the Barnacle made it to the island by the following morning. The island was barely a few miles across. It was clearly uninhabited. There were no columns of smoke promising any towns or docks. The crew laid anchor, jumping into the water, and waded to shore. Maybe there'll be a spring or a stream on that hill there? Arabella pointed at a slope in the distance as they climbed out onto the beach. It looked as if the scrub turned into a thick, lush jungle inland. A good indication of water. Absolutely, Fitzwilliam said cheerfully. You should go back and wait in the boat, and Jack and I will seek it out. Arabella stepped on Fitzwilliam's foot as she marched past him up the beach and away from the boat. Jack sighed. But there might be dangerous natives or beasts, Fitzwilliam protested, as Arabella ignored his warnings. I see only one beast around here, Arabella muttered, glaring at Fitzwilliam as she hitched up her skirts and stepped into the brush. The weather on the island was very hot. Weighed down with the leather flasks and water bags, it was slow going for the three adventurers. Please, Arabella, Fitzwilliam said when she stumbled. At least let me take one of those bags for you. You're too weak to carry all that. Oh, Belle, Jack whined. Please, let him act as your manservant if it's the only way to shut him up. Your mother must be very proud, Arabella grunted at Fitzwilliam as she handed her bags over to the strong young man. My mother died when I was 9, Fitzwilliam said, a fierce look on his face. I hope she would be proud of the man I became. Oh, I'm so sorry, Arabella said sincerely, remembering her own mother. I didn't know. Fitzwilliam stared into the distance sadly. It was after she died that my father first started looking into expanding his holdings into the New World. It was like he wanted to cut himself off from England and his old life forever. Talk as we walk, mates. Chop chop, no time to lose here, Jack said, ignoring Fitzwilliam's story, pushing through the jungle. He married my elder sisters off immediately, Fitzwilliam continued, to the sons of people he knew who'd already moved here to the New World. Some of them we had never even met, Fitzwilliam said to Arabella, whacking a bush aside with his sword. Not since we were all children, anyway. Jack, who was in front of them, rolled his eyes at Fitzwilliam's story. Fitzwilliam paused for a moment, wrestling a small tree out of the way. Anna, my favourite sister, was abducted by pirates on the voyage over to meet her husband, and have not seen her since. Blazes, I know that pain all too well myself. Me mum was taken by pirates too. If you're like me, you didn't really have much reason to stick around once you got here, Arabella said softly. No, not really, Fitzwilliam agreed, a hard edge to his voice. In the name of all that's blessed and blasted, Jack blurted out, can we please call the curtain on this dismal drama and focus on the matter at hand? Arabella and Fitzwilliam looked at Jack more disappointed than angry. Jack brushed himself off and cleared his throat. Very well then, carry on, Jack said. If the sun was hot the morning they landed, it was nothing compared to midday. The crew finished what little rainwater they had on collected in their flasks, and still saw no sign of any fresh water on the island. Fitzwilliam tried to hide it, but he began to cough with thirst. Arabella fell once, though she claimed she'd stumbled on a root. Jack looked worriedly at his companions. None of them would be able to go on much longer. A stupid, terrible way to die in an adventure. "Come on," said Jack, with a forced smile. "It looks like the brush thins out up ahead. It'll be cool and shady under those trees, and we can rest there for a while." Arabella nodded wearily. As Jack pushed the bushes aside and led his two mates into the clearing, he was thrilled, and a little surprised, to see that it was exactly what he had told them. Cool, shady, nice soft grass to relax on, and he was just as surprised to see in the clearing two boys working on what looked like a makeshift raft. "Well, bonsoir and bienvenue," the first kid said. "Look what we have got here, two men. New friends, and maybe even a way off this island." And with that chance meeting on the island, that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. So, who are these young kids? Well, in order to find out that, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow, aren't you? Well, until then, keep your sailing smooth, the wind at your back, and may your compass always point true. Good night.